Hey, hey, hey. Ooh, I got some things I need to do before we get the shit show started. Actually, it's not a shit show. This is a good show. First, we need to recognize moments of silence. The first one being, of course, the original drummer from The Misfits, Joey Image, passed away recently. Probably the best Misfits lineup in the history of that band. And you know what? It has nothing to do with rock and roll, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Christo, one of my favorite artists, the guy that used to wrap it up. You know, he's the guy that would wrap up Central Park, wrap up the Eiffel Tower. He'd wrap up lakes and stuff. That was his thing, just wrapping stuff up. Hopefully he was wrapped up like a mummy when they put him in his grave, because that would be the cherry on top of the milkshake there. So let's go ahead and recognize these moments of silence. Too much horror business late at night. Psycho 78. Oh, silence. Okay. Joey Image and Christo. The other thing I wanted to do was, my last video was it was meant to be dark. It was meant to be black. That's why I did showcased a band called Everything Went Black. But you couldn't see the product I was pushing. So here it is. Everything Went Black, Altars and Arsonists. That was what I was playing on the last video. It's one of the rare videos where I kind of went psychosocial and had a rant and rave about some stuff, and it was really had more to do with events going on in the world. So today, let's keep the protest going. We are going to talk about a band from 1978. And okay. I'm one of those people that if I hear a good joke, I see some good art, if you have a good idea, if I see a cool car, I'm like, oh, that's genius. That's genius. Man, you're a genius. You know, if you're a good dude and I like you, genius. Great idea. That is genius. I'm one of those people that use the word genius flippantly. The band I'm going to talk about today, I'm using the word genius in its most literal sense. And that band is Dead Kennedys. Oftentimes considered America's Sex Pistols. Which, by the way, is another genius band. Not so much the band per se, but, you know, Malcolm McLaren to create a band that to be more of a spectacle than an actual band. And that to me was a genius idea, and it worked. So the Dead Kennedys, America's Sex Pistols. Here you have a band who is as far left on the radio dial, or maybe if I use my right hand, is it your left? As you can really get. I mean, they're from San Francisco. Like I said, they started in '78. But again, politically, ideologically, this band is all the way to the left. And the reason I call them genius is because for me, a genius is a person who can see a thought process all the way through. And they're not going to lie to themselves. They're not going to rationalize it. They're not going to deflect it. They're going to see their line of thought all the way through. And whether they like the outcome or dislike the outcome, they're going to accept the outcome. And then they're going to put the outcome in front of all of us. The Dead Kennedys do that. And by example, their first record was called Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables. And they had the song California Uber Alice. And that song is just one of those. It's just one of those songs that basically, okay, so when that song came out, you had a governor of California, his name was Jerry Brown. And for all I know, he could be governor right now. I think they re-elected him I don't know, after Schwarzenegger or something. I don't know. I think he did get re-elected. But this guy was probably one of the most liberal governors California's ever had, and really pushed left-wing policies and left-wing ideas into that state. And what I mean by that, I mean, it wasn't radical stuff. It was just, you know, ahead of its time kind of stuff. Recycling. He wanted all clothes made out of hemp and natural fibers. He wanted the entire state to use reusable, recyclable materials. Is what he really wanted to do in the beginning. I don't know what he does now. So then you have this band, the Dead Kennedys, who, you know, they can't stand fascism, and they can't stand Nazis, and they can't stand tyranny. But instead of attacking somebody like Ronald Reagan or the Republican Party or whatever tyrant you want to talk about, they're attacking Jerry Brown, who's kind of on their side. But they're making their people and their fans see, okay, let's take this left-wing governor and these left-wing policies, and let's take that to the extreme. So when we show up at the show, we're going to put that in front of you, and you're going to have to question yourself. And you're going to have to question who you're voting for. Because what if we take that to the extreme, and next thing you know, you're getting arrested because you're wearing some Air Jordans made out of leather and there's plastic, You're carrying like a plastic grocery bag or something with some plastic straws. Now you're getting arrested. The suede denim fashion police showed up at your house because you're buying the wrong materials, and these materials aren't from the state of California, and you bought those somewhere else, and these are illegal here. I mean, it's like it's like this band takes their people, brings them to the extreme. It's just like, this is how it could be with us. We could be Nazis if we take it this far. It's genius. I mean, every one of their songs is like this. They contradict themselves. They make you look at yourself. It's like Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan contradicts himself all the time. It's like, okay, Albert Einstein, he's considered a genius. When he created E equals MC squared, he didn't want to believe it. Here's a guy who was horrible at math, horrible at science, but somehow he stumbled upon this equation. Or maybe the aliens injected something into him and boom, there it is. And no, he didn't want to believe it. And the science community didn't want to believe it. There were a lot of them refused to believe it, even though the equation was right every single time. But nobody believed it till they dropped an atom bomb. And then, boom! Well, that E equals MC squared. I guess he was right about that. Can't hide from it now. The Dead Kennedys are like that. It's the kind of people they are. They had another song. Oh, I can't remember which album it came off of, but it was called "Kill the Poor," which is another one of my favorite Dead Kennedy songs. And the song is tongue in cheek, but the whole idea of the song is like, look, if we kill everybody who makes less than $40,000 a year, we don't have to pay taxes for welfare programs, charity hospitals, government programs. We pay less taxes if we kill poor people. And and this band got so much hate from the left side. They got a bunch of love from the right side. But really, what this band is saying is, it's true. But are you the one who's cold enough to pull the trigger? Who can do that? Nobody can do that. We're all poor. The Dead Kennedys are just an amazing band. So let's just listen to them. I mean, even if you hate this kind of music, you can just read the lyrics. Is how good it is. I mean, lyrically, it's poetry. It's poetry, and okay, I've been talking about the lyrics, Jello Biafra and the lyrics, but musically, there's never been a band that sounded like this. There hasn't been a band since the Dead Kennedys that sound like this. And they're just so original. Let's listen to it. So again, this is my first introduction to the Dead Kennedys. Was "In God We Trust." Oftentimes, this is considered an EP, even though it's on a 12-inch. Original pressing, for those of you who are into that. And the big song that came off of this one is called Moral Majority, and I think I'm going to go ahead and play that one. If I can find it. So, let's play it. Here's Moral Majority.
We are gathered here tonight to pay tribute to our Lord and money unto thee. O Lord in heaven, let us pray. You genius, give me your What the you got the majority? For some people in the real world, that was not spoken pride. Understand, you're on a fake time, you come about the news. Anybody question the good and cool? People take your money behind your time. Understand, you're on a track, such a kind of some of the money. But you're most of the money. Do not get with the rest of the looking, that's none of them say which time. That is most of the time. We're not supposed to be alive. That's the man with the fire of my own. Understand, you're on a fake blowing out your asses. I will blow it out your asses. Blowing out your asses. What's wrong with a mind of my own? You don't want to go see what that is, Joe. Don't you want to make a little red fast on small, but now you want to put some great school. Now instead of your start your fool. Like, oh, with the weather ran. Give the police and the school that slam. This country didn't know about the rain. Look at the phone and turn it in a flag. They blow it out your ass, they know it, blow it out your ass, they'll shout, we ran it up your country. You're alright. God said, you're alright.
There you go, Moral Majority. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the vibe. Let's do another one. These are short songs. So, the Dead Kennedys are still around after 40 some odd years now. Jello Biafra's not with them. I know they have a some kind of legal thing going on. So the band that tours now is usually a three-piece. I think East Bay Ray or Klaus Fluoride may sing for them, or they usually have a singer with them. Oh man, I hate to say it. I hate to say it because I love the entire band, but the Dead Kennedys are one of those bands that you really need the front man. He has such a distinct voice, such a distinct personality. I mean, it would be like seeing U2 without Bono. It would be like seeing the Police without Sting. It's and the fact that he's still alive. You know, usually if you have a dead singer, you can kind of get away with replacing the singer. So, I mean, if you're a young buck or a young filly, go see him. I mean, the music's going to be awesome. But personally, I probably wouldn't pay more than $15-20 to see that. With Jello, I'd probably pay $30 to $40. So, that's all I got to say about that one. Let's I want to play one more song. Let's do Nazi Trumps fuck off. How about that one? All right. This is the classic that everyone knows.
Fuck Off, overproduced by Martin Hannett, take 4.
What a man! That fight each other, the police they wins! Stop your backs and trash our holes! Trash your back if you got real balls! That's how they talk to God for cool! Real life things on your school like Project Breakfast, Better Cops, and the Red Bar, drinking in the place to go! Not punch! Fuck off! Not punch! Fuck off! You've been left to go! What lets you think?
There you go. There's a couple classics from the Dead Kennedys. If you keep fighting each other, the police state wins. You keep destroying, the police state wins. They're making you question yourself. They're making you question your actions. They're seeing it through all the way to its most rational conclusion. Keep the fires burning. Keep justice in your heart. And keep doing what you do. If you're a good person, it's going to work out for you. Love you, and I'll see you next week.